The GameCube was a failure. A wonderful failure, don't get me wrong, but a failure indeed. Now, I really just wanted an excuse to talk about the GameCube, but lately online I've seen a lot of discussion about the GameCube and people being kind of shocked that it is indeed a failure of a console. Kind of wanted to talk about the misconceptions around this console and why people think it was more successful than it actually was today, and why I think it kind of makes a lot of sense from their perspective. I mean, if I was born today and I saw how relevant the GameCube really was still at this moment, I would have thought it was the best-selling console in its generation. So why is the GameCube still around? Well, I would give that credit to one solo evergreen game. Well, actually, maybe like 3 of them, but there's one, and you already know what it is. We're talking about the evergreen fighting game that refuses to die, and if it does one day die, I will be the first one providing shovels to unbury it. And because the game is still so alive and active today, more so than really ever, the GameCube refuses to disappear. And even though a lot of people these days are playing on a PC or using a Wii, the iconic status of Melee keeps the GameCube alive in spirit. The other games that are really keeping the console alive are Mario Kart Double Dash, and I would even say Kirby Air Ride. And I would have said Paper Mario beforehand, but now we have that Paper Mario on the Nintendo Switch, which I am so thankful for. I cannot believe that happened still to this day. Now, if you want to talk about why the GameCube didn't succeed, I would really boil it down to its cute image. Because the marketing was good, I just don't think people were really ready for the design. And let's talk about the design, because I legitimately think it is the best designed console of all time. Hear me out. There are so many other consoles from around this time period that just do not age gracefully. And let me be very clear, I'm talking about every design feature of the GameCube, hands down. I like the logo. I like the shape of the console. I like the fact that it has a giant handle so you can carry it to people's houses. People talk about the Nintendo Switch being the first portable home console. Please, that was the GameCube. It was designed like a purse, okay? You best believe I was bringing that thing to every single sleepover ever. Like, oh, you thought we were gonna read scary stories? Nah, bam, here's the GameCube that I snuck into your parents' house. I even love the menu design for the GameCube. The menu design for the GameCube is the best menu design I've seen on any computer ever. Not even just game computers, not even game consoles, just any design ever. The GameCube is peak. The sound design is so good that I use part of the sound effect for my intro for my YouTube channel. That's how you know I'm not lying. I think the true reason why the design is so perfect is because not only is it portable, not only does it look cool, in my opinion, like the console looks cool and is extremely functional, doesn't take up a lot of space. I mean, I used to have a wall of stacked GameCubes because that's how well it stores. I love the power button. Even the buttons on the console are fun to press. I can't even think of a single other console where it's kind of fun to push the on and off button. That's how well designed it was. It's got this like perfect, if you've never done this before and your GameCube is not plugged in, go press the button right now a few times up and down. It's springy. It's fantastic, okay? I don't even want to hear it. Catch me in the dark, just on the floor, just pushing that button up and down. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that means. What am I talking about? So the GameCube intro had multiple different varieties depending on what button you held down. Who does that? Who puts Easter eggs into the start of a console? They were having so much fun with this console. It's just a square packaged fun in the best way. I used to power on my GameCube not only for the menu music, but for the clock. I used to just use it as a clock TV growing up. GameCube also has this brilliantly designed memory slot system menu, whatever you want to call it, back in the day where you actually had to insert a memory card into the console in order to save certain games. And every single game had its own little icon, which meant when I saved a brand new game, it was like getting this new little collectible thing. And it was just great. I also think it's very interesting that they made the flagship color of the console blue. Yes, there were options for both silver and black, but the flagship model, the one they were really promoting, was the blue one. It's like this blue-purple. Very odd choice for a console design for the flagship. Truly, you're not going to see that today. And if you want my opinion on why the console failed, I really think the design was just ahead of its time. It was a little too cutesy. Like, this was the era of gaming where everyone was like, "Oh, I'm so edgy." Microsoft was like, "Oh, let's get The Rock to advertise our Xbox consoles to the kids. It'll be edgy and cool." And it worked. Nintendo was seen as the kids console. And that edgy coolness, even though I think it applies to the GameCube today, did not really apply to the kids at the time. Things like skateboarding and extreme sports and punk music were just what was in the cultural zeitgeist. And this cute little square of a console, even though it was the most powerful console, really couldn't punch its way beyond that kid-friendly brand that it had established.